Hello, English 112 students. Welcome to week number 5 of 8. So we're more than halfway through now. Hope you're steady and ready to finish this thing up. I'm going to share my screen now and talk about the things that are due this week and introduce those to you as we go along. We're covering a lot of ground this week. We're starting week 5 here. We're doing C10 all the way down through D3. D module is open and available for you to view. You can go ahead and look at the things and be ready for the things that are due in the couple of weeks to come that are in the D module. E module is the final module of the semester. You'll see just by looking at my screen here, I know it's not available for you to see, but just by looking at my screen, in E module, you have only 7 things to do. E7 is the final reflection and course feedback. At the end of the D module, or actually, let me just step back and back up a little bit. At the end of the C module, which we're starting the end of here, what you're turning in is that rhetorical analysis essay, the final draft. Actually, I'm giving you an extended due date for that. I think I pushed that out to the 28th, I do believe. Let me make sure. Really quickly, sorry, I'm just going to look really quickly and make sure that I did do that and the extending of I think so. Anyway, I will make sure that I do that so that the final draft of your rhetorical analysis will not be due at the end of this week. It'll be due at the end of next week. I'll push that due date out. But what you're going to see here when you start week 5 is that what you have to do this week is that peer review. Now, for peer review this week, it happens in a discussion board post. So I am requiring for the C10 assignment for you to adhere to the Wednesday post rules. You must post your peer review draft by Wednesday. I alluded to this last week in the announcement that I sent out. You must post your draft by Wednesday to get that full 60 points for your post. And then you do 2 replies, reviewing 2 other students, following the instructions inside of the peer review form. And you'll get up to 40 points by Sunday if you do those 2 posts. Remember, I do this so that people have plenty of time to reply and you're not rushing your replies all at once. So if I require you to post it by Wednesday, then anybody can come and do plenty of replies without having to wait for somebody to post until Sunday. So that's just the way that works. It works best that way. You'll probably agree with me. So that post is due on Wednesday, and then the 2 replies are due on Sunday. That's for the C10 peer review. C11 is a Connect assignment where you upload your rhetorical analysis and then you answer questions about it. Did you do these things? It asks you to locate, annotate parts of the draft where you did the things you're supposed to do, like talking about ethos, pathos, and logos, talking about the audience, the intended audience, the bias that's there, if available, and other things, your tone, things that are there that I ask you to look at through the assignments that you've been doing through up until this point in the C module. That's a Connect assignment. Again, that's due at the end of the week. Now, it will ask you to upload and do what's your final draft. And then there might have been some grades points taken off for the last unit for not doing it with your final draft. This week, since I'm posting it off, I'm not going to require that you use your final draft, and I'm not going to take points off for if it's not a final draft. But I do want you to do the assessment this week and then take the following week after, when you get your feedback from your peer reviews, to do your final drafts before it will be due. That C12 folder will be the place where you upload the final draft of that rhetorical analysis. I do believe I've already put that date out to the 28th. I'll make sure that I do if I haven't already. Looking down at D module, you'll see that what we're doing in the D module stops at D3 for this week. So D1 is a reading and a Connect assignment, as well as D2. D2 is a sample proposal analysis. So what you're going to do when you do the D2 assignment is it's a wheel assignment. Again, you're going to read a sample proposal analysis. The analysis that you're going to read, I do believe, is about providing alternate exits off of the highway of mass incarceration. So the problem that they're trying to solve is that there's a high number of people who are repeat offenders and a high number of people who are returning to prisons, and there's a high number of people who are already in the prisons. So This is a proposal to reduce the number of people who are going to prison and to reduce the number of people who are repeat offenders. So you'll see that there. So what you'll do is you'll analyze that. You'll actually do a review of it and look at certain parts of it that the Connect assignment asks you to look at. When you do the proposal discussion board assignment down here, the D3 one, you'll be referring back to that D2 assignment, to that essay you read in D2. So it'll ask you to point out either ethos, logos, or pathos, I believe. We'll take a look at that in a second. According to the first letter of your last name, I believe that's how I have assigned those. We'll take a look. But just wanted you to know that D2 and D3 are connected and that you're referring to the same essay read for the D2 assignment when you do the D3 assignment. That D3 assignment is a discussion board post, but it will not have the Wednesday post requirements as usual. I didn't want to do that to you and make you repost two things this week by Wednesday. So I did not apply those Wednesday/Sunday rules for the D3 assignment. You'll see that in the announcement. Let's go back and look at C10 through D number 3. So if we open the C folder, we'll scroll down, and I hope you're remembering to add things to your research log that you're using when you're doing your research for this semester-long topic. And remember that the thing you've done the rhetorical analysis on has to be in the research log as well, the article you use. So if we're looking at C10, we scroll down, the peer review. It's conducted through a discussion board assignment. What you're going to do is you cannot use it to write your peer review or anything. You can't use AI for this assignment. The instructions, you're going to post your draft, upload your rhetorical analysis as a Word document or a PDF. Then the instructions are there. And then what you'll do is after post your draft, you're required to review the drafts of 2 classmates. I want you to find 2 drafts that haven't been reviewed or that have fewer than 2 reviews. In other words, I want to share the love here. Download those drafts to your computer and for thorough reading. Step 2, carefully read each draft, noting areas of strength and areas for improvement. Focus on the clarity of the argument, the use of rhetorical appeals, ethos, pathos, and logos, their structure, and their audience engagement. Step 3, respond to each draft in the same discussion board thread by answering the peer review questions that are provided below. Be respectful, be constructive, and be specific in your feedback. Remember, more is better. Don't write less, write more, okay? Give them feedback, prove you read the draft. When replying to the draft, click reply under your partner's post and paste your feedback directly into that text box. Do not attach a separate document for review. When reviewing your peer's draft, answer the following questions in your feedback. So you're going to answer these questions and then post those back as a response to their drafts. Make sure that you answer all parts of the question and that you don't just give us a yes or no answer. The more points, the better. If you don't provide a lot of feedback, your grade will not be good for these assessments, I promise you. Do those for me, the post by Wednesday and the replies before Sunday at midnight. That's C10. C11 is that self-assessment and reflection piece where you'll upload, you'll talk about the draft you have, that one you've posted so far. It asks you to upload the document that you have finished your final draft. Again, it doesn't have to be the final draft. It can be the workshop draft. I'm okay with that. And then this is the folder where you'll post that final draft, which I do believe is not due until the 20, it says the 20, Sunday, the 29th of June. 2025. So that's not this coming Sunday, but the Sunday after. All right, I'm giving you 2 weeks to submit that final draft. So again, all you're doing for this week in the end here is doing the C10 and the C11. This draft you'll post before the end of week 6. So then going down to D1, 2, and 3, if you look at D1, 2, and 3, you'll see that D1 is again a Connect assignment as well as D2. Let's look at D2 because I think that's the one that will probably require the most explanation. Again, the research log is continued throughout the D module. It contains the link to the research log in the template. Use the template to track your progress with your research. Every time you locate a source you believe will be helpful to your semester-long project, you'll document your search in the research in the research log. There are some reminders here. You should add 5 more entries to the research log before the end of this module. Remember that. There have to be 5 more added. That means your research log should have at least 20 entries by the time you submit the essay at the end of Module D. At the end of Module D, you're going to submit that final proposal essay after you've gone through a lot of channels, a couple more weeks here. You're going to submit those things, and you're going to be adding those things to your research log that you've used as you continue to do that final project. If you missed any entries from the previous module, complete those additional entries during this module to meet that minimum total of 15. This is the final module with the research log, so this is your last chance to earn credit for the entries before the research log is graded at the end of Module D. They should be posted on multiple days, and also if there's any sources that are in the proposal essay but they're not in the research log, that's 10 points per source that will be deducted from the proposal essay. That's a big, hefty penalty. So look at that. Make sure you understand that research log information. D1 is that connect assignment where you're going to look at chapter 27 and do an activity from it. D2 is a link to the power process assignment and connect. If you need a refresh, do that. So that's the sample proposal analysis. When you look at this assignment, you're going to see that it's the assignment I just discussed, where you're looking at a proposal to help with the mass incarceration problem that we have in America. So you'll do an analysis of that by following the steps in the power process assignment there. That's due before the end of the week. Then this discussion post is the one I said does not apply with the Wednesday rules. What you're gonna do is it says return to your submission for the D2 assignment, reread that assignment, review your notes, and then if your last name starts with A through M, you'll answer the evening questions. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. If your last name starts with N through Z, you'll answer the odd questions from below. Answer the questions in complete sentences and answer all parts of the questions. Then reply by responding to 2 classmates' posts by furthering their analysis or adding points that they may not have included. All right, so that's all you have to do for this assignment. You don't have to answer all 10, just the 5 that apply with your last name first initial. If it's A through M, you do the even questions. If it's N through Z, you do the odd questions. My name is Mills. That starts with an M, so I would do questions 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. If you've got any questions about that, please let me know. Again, the thing you're reading is that you're applying these questions to is the reading from the D2 assignment. That might be a little confusing for some of you. All right, so that's what we're doing this week. I'm going to stop the share and stop the video so I'm not boring you too much. If you have any questions, as always, reach out to me. Let me know you're not bothering me with those questions. I might not be able to get right back to you right away because it's the weekend or it's nighttime, but I do usually reply within 24 to 36 hours, okay? Thank you so much for your attention, and I'll hope to see you with some questions soon. And again, grading is ongoing, so everything's being graded as we speak. All right, thank you much.